and performance. And as you can see, some of them are political keys, some relate to the economy, others deal with policy change, social unrest, scandal, foreign and military successes and failures, and only two keys have anything to do with the identity of the nominees.
So you're really analyzing.
Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're having a great day. So I thought it was very interesting to do this video. Why Trump can't win. Now, I want it to be understood that watching this video doesn't mean that we don't have to do anything. It doesn't mean that don't go to the voting booths. You know, we still need Andrew Yang to win. But Trump not being able to win helps Andrew Yang able to accomplish that. So where is this coming from? Where is this information coming from? So this is a professor by the name of Alan Lichtman. And before you kind of get it in your mind that, you know, you can't use data to predict these things and, you know, maybe you're wrong and a variety of things like that. This professor has predicted correctly at very early stages 9 of the last presidential candidates to win with accuracy. So the last 9, that's a lot. That's a lot of presidents. And he did it with a very interesting model. And it works a little bit different than maybe many of us might be thinking about this. Now, whereas in most situations we focus directly, specifically on the candidate, his model doesn't do that. It actually focuses on the party itself, right? And he goes on to say it doesn't even matter in his model how bad the candidates are. It doesn't matter how much they bicker or what comes out. But if these keys are disturbed, it goes by the party, and despite the person who's in your party, they're going to win. So you kind of see some of the lists here. And according to his model, he predicts at this point in time 4 of these keys that will stop Donald Trump from winning are already in place. Now, he's saying that the 4th key that he determined for Donald Trump to lose was impeachment, which he believes they will have the full impeachment go forward. And I think we can pretty much come to the conclusion that that will happen, as Trump has admittedly broken the law, public and videos and a variety of things. So the idea is that that will be the 4th key, but the impeachment may in fact trigger more keys. But it's a little bit more than that. Trump's been running on a basically on the idea of a good economy, and it's very hard to be the sitting president of a good economy. Now, the only problem is that 75% of economists predict that we will hit recession. And we've seen many of the problems that are surfacing up in the economy with the Fed and a variety of things. So there's a lot of things that are wrong that aren't being talked about. That would be the 5th key. And again, the 4th key and the 5th key, from impeachment to bad economies, can now trigger more problems. The last part, or what's on this list as well, is foreign military campaigns and the failures or successes of them, right? Now, we kind of keep getting pushed back to the idea of Trump dealing with Iran, and will we go to war with Iran? And we know Trump to be this president who is all about the basis of winning, and the failure of a military campaign could be negative to the party and cause Trump to lose the election as well. Now, the problem is, if you look at the sentiment of Iran, look at some of their last videos, they seem very confident, like they're absolutely fine with going to war. They don't seem like they need to come negotiate, sit down at the negotiating table. They are fine if it comes to it and ready. They've seen what's happened in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they believe they're 10 times the country that they were that we went into. So they're saying that this will devastate the United States. And that's a severe problem to the Trump campaign and his party. Of course, all these things could then trigger many of these other keys on the model of Professor Alan Lichtman. So this is very interesting. I've never looked at it this way. Also, just going back to Iran real quick, it could also be seen that Trump is a lot of cause of Iran, as a lot of people prompted or wanted Trump to go back, reopen that Iran deal to create a more stable global situation, and Trump refused to do that, thus kind of spawning on even a more insecure world by not just keeping that agreement going. And so in some ways, in my opinion, that could be looked at as a military failure in case something does go wrong, or we do have to put our troops in harm's way once again and create the disaster that could come out of Iran conflict that we're kind of on the borderline of. But according to this professor's research, and he's been right 9 out of the last elections, Trump is at the very verge of not being electable in 2020. And those are just some of the areas of why Trump can't get elected. There have been many other models done. There have been many other things to look very close at, likability, right? We know that Trump came out in 2016. He was this very likable personality, kind of a breath of fresh air to the establishment politicians we had got. Now Trump is an establishment politician in many ways, and that is another area in some models that say that it won't work out for Trump, as he's not as likable as he was in 2016. A lot of his base is not on board with him like they used to be. Even as it's come up a lot in the media, framing Trump as this racist presence in the White House. Even racist groups don't feel that he's representing the white nationalist, white supremacy groups. People like Richard Spencer, who were known as heads of the alt-right, have outright pretty much denounced Trump. Went for people like Andrew Yang as to say he's not trying to help the white people of America. So Trump's even losing a lot of that base. So he's not the same candidate he was in 2016. 2016, he did win the electoral college votes, but he didn't win the popular vote. So he kind of struggled there to win that election. It wasn't a landslide. It was a bare win, right? And he lost the popular vote. So, he's not very strong in that area at all. He's no longer the underdog. A lot of people like underdogs, and underdogs have won the last several elections. Trump will not be the underdog in this election. There are so many areas that we can go in as to why Trump will not be able to win. But those are some of them. And the impeachment, many believe, is going to trigger even more things. Another 2 more areas: the media and the internet, right? So the media has turned their back on Trump, right? Even Fox News are gunning for him now, and that's supposed to be the right-wing safe haven. So he doesn't have the media on his side. He does have social media to a degree, but remember, his social media isn't the strong presence like it was back in 2016, and there are other candidates who have more of a dominating social media coming upon them, people like Andrew Yang, of course, and so that's working against Trump as well. So there are so many factors why many people are believing Trump will not win. I'll leave a full link to this video about Alan Lightman's, prediction here and his data here to this interview here. And, he predicted Trump would win, so he's not biased in his model. But very interesting stuff. I love to hear you all's opinion about this. If you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, take care.